LoadLifter 5000. Had it on for about 2 years, so let's do a quick review. Now, this was a super easy install on this LoadLifter 5000 by Airlift. I've got it on my 2007 Ford F350 dually. I was just under here doing the about every 6 months I check all the torques and everything, and if anything needs to be tightened up. So far nothing's loosened up at all. Just go through with the torque wrench and set it to spec and make sure everything's good and snug. Check all my air connections, and I usually keep about 10 pounds in the airbags when I don't have the big truck camper on. When I just have my canopy on, I keep 10 pounds in it. Unless I'm hauling a big load of plywood or something like that. If I have to go get a unit of plywood, I'll put a little bit more in, but 10 pounds unloaded seems to be a good, comfortable ride, and still gives enough room for the leaf springs to work a little bit. And I air these up. You can use an air compressor. I just keep one of these little bicycle pumps from a mountain bike. It's got a good gauge on it. It's a good accurate gauge, and I just go around and check that once a week. When I check the tire pressure, I'll check the pressure in the airbags. With the dually, you got to have the so I can get out of the sun a little bit. Got to have the angle gauge so I can get into the inside tire. But so I'm just running around checking all the air pressures. I'll just use this little guy. And this little bike pump is pretty cool because it just threads on real easy, and I can keep it in the cab with me. I don't have to worry about hooking up an air compressor on the truck and having to break it out every single time I want to add air to the airbags. Now, the LoadLifter 5000 is rated for about 5,000 pounds in the for payload in the bed, so that's why I got that 5000 Ultimate model. It's the one specifically for the 2007 F350, and it seems to work really well with my setup. My truck camper is loaded, wet. It's with everything that we need. It's about 4,200 pounds, so it seems to give me a really good ride quality. I definitely feel a difference between that and the torque lift stable loads that I've got on there. Actually, I kept the stable loads on there, but when it was just the stable loads alone, I got a lot of sway, or a lot of rocking back and forth when I'd pull into gas stations and stuff like that. It helped a little bit over stock, but the airbags just totally got rid of that problem. Don't have any more sway when I roll into a parking lot or a gas station or something like that. It's solid. It'll tilt one side and then come right back and get stable. So it seems to be working out really well that way. I feel it's kind of peace of mind. I don't know if it's necessary to have, but it's kind of peace of mind with a heavy truck camper or heavy payload. If you're constantly hauling heavy stuff in the bed, I recommend having these. It also keeps the ride height where it needs to be for safety, for braking, and keeps your headlights pointed where they need to be, so people aren't flashing their brights at you all the time, which is just kind of an added bonus. But it definitely helps the ride quality with the truck camper on there, and I'm real happy with them. Like I said, this is going on 2 years, and I was just going through and retorquing everything, and haven't had any leaks in the airlines or anything like that, and they hold air really well. I do have to add a little bit of air about probably once a month, maybe a little bit longer than that. But like I said, I check it every week when I check the tires, and it seems to be about a little over a month. I'll add a few pounds, maybe 3 or 4 pounds in there if I've got the camper on. If I have just the camper shell and I keep them at 10 pounds, they seem to stay at 10 pounds for a little bit longer. Might have to add a pound or two, but they're just a really good quality product. The installation was really easy. I don't think it took me longer than I don't know, maybe an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes, including drilling the holes in the back bumper for the Schrader valves. Running the airlines, trying to figure out how I was going to run the airlines was probably the most time consuming. Everything else just fit together really nicely, and it's made for this model of truck, and they have different models for different trucks and different years, so they just they fit in there really nicely. There's no problems with fitment or hardware or anything like that. Everything's really high quality. The hardware's high quality, and the build quality on the steel pieces is just spot on. Everything was accurate, so really happy with that, and definitely going to keep it. Even if we don't have the truck camper for much longer, if we go with a fifth wheel or something like that, then they'll still get used. So really happy with these, and I recommend them. The Airlift LoadLifter 5000 Ultimate. Here you can see the lowers for the torque lift and the uppers for the torque lift. The uppers are on the front and the rear. The lowers are just the rear for the overload spring, and that just helps engage the overload a little bit earlier. Don't really need that, but it's on there, and no need to take it off. The kit comes with, you can see right there, it comes with a exhaust shield, and that's had no problems. And of course, these diesel exhaust systems get super hot, so got to have that on there. I'll just give you a shot of the hardware there. Grade 8 bolts. And of course, you've got your shackles and all of the hardware for the bag itself. I'm not sure how well you'll be able to see that, but there's the airline, comes out from the frame rail, and goes right up into the back bumper and through the outside there. Comes with all the hardware, extra long valves there. I just put a couple caps on it. One thing I did add were these little neoprene washers for when I snug everything up. It was not riding on the bumper itself. It was riding on this little neoprene washer. Keeps the ride height good. My headlights pointed in the right direction, and the stance is really nice with the truck camper on too. It doesn't squat too much. So really, not really much of a review, but I have had it on for a couple years, and just wanted to say I'm happy with it. And if you are thinking of doing the Airlift LoadLifter airbags, I do recommend them. I haven't used the Firestones or any of the other ones, so I can't really compare them to anything, but for my truck and the load that I carry in the bed, they're working perfectly. So yeah, definitely 2 thumbs up on the Airlift LoadLifter 5000. Anyway, hope any of this information might have helped you guys, or if it's if you're trying to decide whether or not you should get the Airlift LoadLifter. Hopefully the information helps you make that decision, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching. Later.